Good day, everybody. So good to see everybody's smiling faces. The votes are in, and you loved the last video. Everybody did. In fact, it's up for an Oscar for the best first TOK video completed with PowerPoint and Microsoft Video Editor. I didn't even know that was a category, but I'll take it.
I'd like to thank the Academy and my mom and dad and the TOK team and Michael Jordan for inspiring me to be the greatest of all time, and to all the people who said that this wasn't possible, like my one ex-girlfriend. Well, I guess I showed you.
Yeah, I know that there were some few things to improve, like the close-up cuts. They were not close enough.
How's this? Can you count the pores on my nose yet?
And that the sound is all jankety, but people, I am putting these together with duct tape and chewing gum. Plus, that was the second video ever. I haven't had enough time and situational experience, and I haven't had enough deliberate practice at this stuff. What I'm saying is, in a roundabout review from last time, I'm no expert at this, but I am working on it, practicing, trying my best, which is all we ask of you. A more explicit review, last time we addressed the question, what makes someone an expert? We saw that there are a whole host of factors or criteria that we can use to determine if someone is an expert, including credentials, education, experience over time, experience in multiple situations, and good intuition, and the ability to know thyself.
Today, we are going to slay a different dragon. Experts. Do we trust them? Doesn't look like it according to these articles. What's with all these people saying that experts are dead? Or at least that people don't trust them anymore? Everybody's saying that nobody is listening to experts, or at least these death of expert Google search confirmation biased articles are saying it. And look at this headline from the most reputable satire site on the web, The Onion. Experts everywhere have simply quit because nobody's listening to them anyway. That may have been a joke, but this book isn't. Called The Death of Expertise, the author makes a case that expertise is no longer what it used to be. He says, "This is more than a natural skepticism toward experts. I fear we are witnessing the death of the ideal of expertise itself, a Google-fueled, Wikipedia-based, blog-sodden collapse of any division between professionals and laypeople, students and teachers, knowers and wanderers. In other words, between those of any achievement in an area and those with none at all."
So it seems like everybody is sounding the siren about people not trusting experts anymore. But is it true? What is the evidence? Do we trust experts less than we used to? Is it all experts or only certain kinds? What does the data say? The first trick is figuring out how we would even figure this out. What would data for a question like this look like?
Well, we could do some polls, gather people's thoughts on experts by asking them questions, and a lot of our data on what we think about experts has come from these polls. We could also do studies, and some people have found creative ways to test whether we rely on or reject experts.
So if we do have some data on this stuff, what does it say? Well, it says this.
One poll found that 85% of people want their government officials to consult with experts on an issue before making decisions. This suggests that people generally value experts. Doesn't look like experts are dying here. Another poll, though, found that when it comes to big issues like vaccines or climate change or genetically modified foods, scientists are more trusted than politicians, who aren't trusted a lot, but even the scientists aren't trusted completely over half of the time. Okay, so experts might be dead after all. But then another poll found that trust in scientists is very high. More people trust scientists to tell the truth, 79%, than the police, 53%, or the clergy, 67%, according to the Ipsos Mori's Veracity Index. Experts have a pulse again. But one study found trust in government in particular plummeting 30 percentage points among the informed public. America is now home to the least trusting informed public of the 28 countries that the firm surveyed, right below South Africa. Distrust is growing most among younger, higher income Americans. Experts dead. But one poll found that 84% of respondents say they trusted the government, and 71% that they trusted the media. Experts alive. But another said that hardly anybody trusts the media. Experts dead. And another said that only 48% have any trust in scientists at all. Okay, I think that's it. Experts dead wins.
What's going on here? Do we trust experts or not? Well, it kind of depends on where you're talking about. The numbers and charts and articles above are all true, but not all the same people were surveyed or studied.
That 84% of people who trust their government and 71% of people that trust their media, yeah, they live in China. And the 85% of people who said that the government should rely on experts when drafting policy, it was the Brits who said it. The 52% that don't trust scientists live in Central Africa. The people who don't trust their government or the media or even scientists all that much?
Yeah, unfortunately me. Well, not me, but like me as an American. Like Americans. America doesn't trust experts all that much, at least comparatively. I trust experts personally, unless they disagree with me, of course. Shoot, that was super American of me. Well, there's lots of reasons why people tend to trust experts in China, and somewhat in Britain, and not so much in America. China has a long history and intellectual tradition of communal identity, and for lack of a better word, authoritarian political and social structures. These things tend to lead to more trust in experts, particularly government and media experts. America? Oof. Oh boy, well, I am one, so I could speak forever on this topic. How long is this video? Oh, I control that? Huh. Well then we're gonna be here a while. Buckle up.
It all started when the settlers came over on the Nina, the Mayflower, and the Black Pearl. And Columbus and George Washington killed all the Native Americans and established the city of Boston. And the Pilgrims ate corn and turkey on Thanksgiving, and they traded beads with the natives to buy New York City. And John Smith married Pocahontas.
That was a joke, people. Pocahontas married John Rolfe, not John Smith. All that other stuff, though? Yeah, all that was true.
But in all reality, the people who came over from America, most of them were fleeing religious persecution. They were free thinkers that weren't going to be told by any king what to do or think. This freedom of self-expression and thought led to some really cool things, like the first Constitution, which established a democracy in the world. But it also led to a pretty ardent and fierce anti-intellectualism as well. Anti-intellectualism is more than the title of this famous book that won the Pulitzer Prize in 1964. It is the idea that in America, many people resent reason and developing the mind. They make fun of smart people, intellectuals, and prefer their superstition and reliance on the self.
So it's baked into the ethos or spirit of America, but many Americans still were rather trusting of experts well into the 20th century. Public trust in experts has decreased steadily since the 1960s, however. Historical events greased the wheels as we went down this slippery slope. To see this a little more sharply, we're going to take a brief look only at one set of experts: government officials.
This dude had a lot to do with it. This is Robert McNamara. He was Secretary of Defense during the Vietnam War in the 1960s. He was brought in as Secretary of Defense to kind of moneyball the war. He was going to stat the crap out of the Vietnam War effort and help America win with minimal effort and resources. Yeah, it was a disaster. Vietnam became a black hole America couldn't escape, and many blamed the expert, Robert McNamara, and his data analytics for losing Vietnam. And then, not even a decade later, this guy was president. Richard Nixon had a bunch of guys steal information from an opposing political party. Nixon then tried to cover it up because he was super shady. The Watergate scandal led to Nixon having to resign, but also led to an erosion of trust in the government. There were many other factors over time that led to this graph.
And we can't get into all of them here. That would take a book. But just know that trust was already at a historic lows before Donald Trump came around. He hasn't helped much either, particularly during the pandemic. People tend not to trust leaders that either don't know what they're talking about or change their minds frequently, or flat out lie. So...
The coronavirus, you know that, right? Coronavirus. We think we have it very well under control. We have very little problem in this country at this moment.
Well, we pretty much shut it down coming in from China. We're going to see what happens, but we did shut it down, yes.
You know, a lot of people think that goes away in April with the heat, as the heat comes in. We're in great shape, though.
You know, in April, supposedly, it dies with the hotter weather.
Looks like by April, you know, in theory, when it gets a little warmer, it miraculously goes away. I hope that's true. And I think the numbers are going to get progressively better as we go along. We have it very much under control in this country. Because of all we've done, the risk to the American people remains very low. It's going to disappear. One day, it's like a miracle. It will disappear. You know, it could get worse before it gets better. It could maybe go away. We'll see what happens. Nobody really knows. Now the Democrats are politicizing the coronavirus. You know that, right? Coronavirus. And this is their new hoax. The hoax is on them. I'm not talking about what's happening here. Certainly not referring to this. How could anybody refer to this? This is very serious stuff. Anybody that needs a test can have a test. They're all set.
Are you concerned that the virus is getting close to the White House?
No, I'm not concerned at all. No, I'm not. It will go away. Just stay calm. It will go away. To keep new cases from entering our shores, we will be suspending all travel from Europe to the United States for the next 30 days. This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history. We're in great shape compared to other places. We are in really good shape. Yeah, no, I don't take responsibility at all. It's all over the world. It's incredible what's happened in such a short period of time. But I've always known this is a pandemic.
As for here in the United States, the virus continues to spread rapidly. We now have more confirmed coronavirus cases than any country in the world. Number one. And the president has only recently seemed to realise the gravity of the situation. As recently as a month ago, he was saying we have it very much under control, adding, stock market starting to look very good to me, before abruptly shifting gears to claim that he felt it was a pandemic long before it was called one, and then, just last week, making this grand declaration.
I'm a wartime president. This is a war. This is a war. Different kind of a war than we've ever had.
Yeah, I guess it is different, isn't it? It's like World War II, only the enemy is invisible. Or like the Vietnam War, only this time, Trump is actually taking part. And yet, incredibly, after briefly embracing the need for everyone to engage in social distancing to flatten the curve, on Tuesday, our wartime president seemed to already be considering giving up the fight and encouraging everyone to go back to work.
We're opening up this incredible country because we have to do that. I'd love to have it open by Easter. Okay, I would love to have it open by Easter. I will tell you that right now. I would love to have that. It's such an important day for other reasons, but I'll make it an important day for this too.
Okay, setting aside the Easter's an important day for other reasons, the date he's setting is just 2 weeks from now, which is objectively way too soon. Although, if you were going to pick a holiday to break quarantine, you could do a lot worse than one honouring the time that Jesus was supposed to stay inside and didn't.
Americans trust their government officials less than just about any other expert you could think of. Yeah, this says only 25% of people trust their government even a little. We've been zoomed in on government experts here, but even if we zoom out, we can see a similar decline in trust can be seen in the media. As it says here, a decline of 31% since 1977. And trust in scientists have held rather steady with only a slight dip over time, but some scientific experts are trusted more than others, though. Doctors? Come on.
So, some people trust experts, some don't. It kind of depends on location and history. Location and history can help us identify some broad sociological trends, but it doesn't really get at why an individual distrusts experts. Why does my dad not trust climate scientists? And why do most of my teacher friends say nobody in the government knows what they're doing? If we don't trust experts, why don't we trust them? That is the cliffhanger I leave you with to make you come back for more next time.